Hey, it's Mrs. Hepworth again, here for part 2 of the behind-the-scenes making of the final exam project. I'm specifically just recording my computer screen so you can see some aspects of my PowerPoint slides that may not be necessarily super obvious to you just by looking at them as an example. A few things I wanted to point out to you. First and foremost, the final product that you saw underwent lots of revising until I was satisfied. So be prepared to change some things up and work with the information, play around with the order until you find something that is logical for you and that you're excited about and that makes sense to us, the audience. One thing to notice about my slides, they're very clean and simple. That's kind of a personal preference in terms of visual aspects and engaging my audience. I don't like to clutter it with a lot of things. One thing that I wish I could have done differently was provide more pictures. As you probably noticed in the video, it's literally just text on the page. That is partly my fault with timing. I did not have an opportunity to look for pictures, and if I could go back and do it again, I would definitely add pictures, not necessarily clip art, but like actual photographs that went along with the information on each page. First thing to notice for my second slide, originally I was tempted to start with a basic plot, but I didn't think that would engage my audience very well. So I added evidence right after my little introduction because I thought it set up the book well and gave you insight into the character with leaving the audience in a little bit of suspense because you don't know what the book is about just yet. What you should notice first and foremost, I just very clearly labeled it evidence. You don't have to, but I wanted it to be obvious that I was taking things from the book. Next, I have quotation marks because it's a direct quote. I have ending quotation marks because that's where the direct quote ends. Notice where my period is at. Right here after the parentheses. Let me zoom in again so you can see exactly where the period goes. Oh look, it's right there at the very end. If you follow my example for citing your quotes directly, you will be in the advanced category for proper MLA formatting. That is your goal. For this particular slide, I didn't feel the need to put any text, so I just had an image and then I spoke about the image. I decided to have the slide, if you like, to recommend the book. This is something I've been working on with my students saying, if you like this book, you should try this one. So then I listed a bunch of things that related to the book that I thought would be good reasons to try and read it and see if you enjoy it yourself. Right near the front, this is my 6th slide. Early on in the beginning of the presentation, I needed to lay out exactly what challenged my thinking. That's the whole point of this presentation, right? So I very clearly labeled it, challenged my thinking, so that when the audience saw this, it's super clear as to what this slide is about. Like there's no mystery here. And I actually had 2 parts to it because they are related. Notice that I only have these 2 things on the slide and they're bulleted. My longer explanation showed up on my note cards, which I mentioned in the previous video. I'm going to skip to some more evidence. Again, pay attention to my MLA formatting. Notice this is the second direct quote, and then I even have a third direct quote. I really struggled on how much I wanted to use the book. I had several different parts bookmarked, and you can see my sticky note right there. I had to narrow it down, otherwise I would have been way over time. I couldn't decide. So I think that you should definitely work on spending a good amount of time rereading parts to see which words, which moments in the book truly capture what you're trying to argue about how you've been challenged. This quote in particular, I just love that the character knew that she was smart, and it was such a struggle for her because nobody else realized that. And that's the thing that I latched onto when I was reading the book. And that's the thing that broke my heart when I was reading, because here's this wonderful person who knows all this stuff, and she can't physically do a lot in her life. And it was just such an eye-opening moment. And I just think it'd be cool to have a photographic memory that was literally perfect. So that was my reason for including this type of quote. The other part of the exam is explaining how the book has influenced you, so the changes that you're already making in your life. I got pretty personal with mine here. I feel comfortable talking about that. Please know that you don't have to get super, super intimate details of your life. Only talk about things that you feel comfortable sharing with other people. And then I ended with a slide about things that I'm trying to do in my life. I labeled it ways I'm changing, to get back to the idea of how I've been influenced, what I'm trying to change in my life very clearly. If you recall, I quoted song lyrics from Wicked, but those don't show up here. I didn't necessarily want people to read those. I just wanted them to listen to it. And yay, if you're familiar with Wicked and you recognize the song. I would have sang the song, but I didn't trust my voice and I didn't want to be that embarrassed, so I didn't sing. But if you can sing really, really well, you should totally sing in your speech, because that would be awesome. I only have 11 slides. I tried to keep it short and simple and to the point, but still go in depth. If you want to see more in-depth revisions, feel free to stop in and I can show you my revision history. Again, I wanted to keep this video short and it's already going on 7 minutes. So I shall wrap it up by saying, expect to edit and revise your slides until you're satisfied with them. Be extra double careful to proofread your grammar, your spelling, your capitalization, your punctuation, especially double check OWL Purdue so that you have correctly formatted your citations. OWL Purdue, type it in. Here it is. Click on MLA 2009 Formatting Style Guide. You want to find the sample papers so that you can see how to cite the book in your paper. You can also go to the basics. Oh look, there it is. Author page style. Remember, you are graded on correctly formatting your citation, so please make sure that is done correctly. I hope the second video was helpful. Let me know if you have other questions. Good luck on your final exam. We're super excited to see your presentations.